This is a video in a playlist. It's going to be Mom's Lives Matter playlist. I wanted to talk to you about Judith. Okay? Judith is missing out of a lot of your Bibles. The King James is the corrupted version. So you probably never heard of Judith. So rather than me read it and just give you a brief summary, nobody likes to read it alone. We're going to read it together. It's only 15 chapters. So, it's Judith is called the Campaign of Holofernes, Nebuchadnezzar, and arphaxad, Arphaxad. Now, I did try to look up other versions. Now, Judith 1:1 is not in the King James Version. They don't have it in there, but there are versions that do have it, and of the 10 versions that do, CEB, DRA, GNT, NABRE, NCB, NRSVA, NRSVACE, NRSVCE, NRSVU, RSV, RSVCE in the WYC. They all use that same word, arphaxad. Now, the WYC says arphaxad, king of Medes, had made subject many folks to his empire, and he builded a full mighty city which he called Ecbatana, Axpharde, forsooth. Okay, I had to look up what forsooth meant, and it means indeed, it says. So, Arphaxad, indeed, king of Medes, made subjects, many folks in his empire. Had put under yoke many Gentile to his empire, and he built up a city most mighty that he called Ecbatana. Okay, so you might have never heard of Ecbatana, but we're going to be reading about it. It's Judith 1. It was the 12th year of Nebuchadnezzar, who reigned over the Assyrians in the great city Nineveh. Arphaxad was then reigning over the Medes at Ecbatana. He surrounded this city with walls, dressed stones, 3 cubits thick, 6 cubits long, making the rampart 70 cubits high, 50 cubits wide. At the gate he placed towers 100 cubits high, and at the foundation 60 cubits wide. The gate themselves being 70 cubits high and 40 wide, to allow his forces to march out in a body and his infantry to parade freely. Now at this time King Nebuchadnezzar gave support to King Arphaxad in the great plain lying. The great plain lying. In the territory of Ragae, Ragae. Supporting him were all his peoples from the highlands, all from the Euphrates and Tigris and Hydaspes, and those from the plains who were subject to Arioch, king of the Elymanes. Thus many nations had mustered to take part in the battle of the sons of Chilaud. There's a footnote for Chilaud, I think. Probably Chaldeans. Nebuchadnezzar, king of the Assyrians, sent a message to all the inhabitants of Persia, to all the inhabitants of the western countries, Sicilia, Damascus, Lebanon, anti-Lebanon, to all those along the coast, to the people of Carmel, Gilead, Upper Galilee, and the great plain of Esdraelon, to the men of Samaria and its outlying towns, to those beyond the Jordan as far away as Jerusalem, Bethany, Chelawis, Kadesh, and the river of Egypt, Tahpanhes, Ramses, and the whole territory of Goshen, beyond Tanis too, and Memphis, and to all the inhabitants of Egypt as far as the frontiers of Ethiopia. But the inhabitants of these countries ignored the summons of Nebuchadnezzar, king of the Assyrians, and did not rally him to make war. They were not afraid of him, since in their view he appeared isolated. Hence, they sent ambassadors back with nothing achieved. In disgrace. Nothing achieved. In disgrace. Nebuchadnezzar was furious with all these countries. He swore by his throne and kingdom to take revenge on all the territories of Sicily, Damascene, Syria, the Moabites, and of the Ammonites, of Judea, Egypt as far as the limits of the 2 seas, and to ravage them with the sword. The campaign against Arphaxad. In the 17th year, he and his forces gave battle to King Arphaxad, and in this battle defeated him. He routed Arphaxad's entire army and all his cavalry and chariots. He occupied his towns and advanced on Ecbatana. He seized its towers and plundered its marketplaces, reducing its former magnificence to a mockery. He later captured Arphaxad in the mountains of Ragay, and thrusting him through with his spear, destroyed him once and for all. He then retired his troops and all who had joined forces with him, a vast horde of armed men. Then, carefree, he and his army gave themselves up to feasting for 120 days.